chosen one. Pause here and listen. Heaven has held back the noise of this world to whisper directly to your soul. You are not here by chance, not scrolling by accident, not stumbling blindly into this moment. No, you are standing at a threshold where the tests you have endured are being weighed, and the verdict is being released. And the word from the throne is this: you have passed. You know what it has cost you. Nights where sleep fled because your spirit wrestled with pain. Days when betrayal from those you trusted left wounds deeper than blades. Seasons where lack pressed against you so heavily it felt like breath itself was being stolen. Yet, through it all, you did not surrender your light. You could have walked away, but you did not. You could have compromised, but you chose to remain faithful. And now the heavens proclaim over you: the test is complete. The seal of approval rests upon you. And the ancient words recorded in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 17. Our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. Let that sink deep within you. This crown is not metaphor, only it is divine recognition. Heaven acknowledges you. Angels know your name. Hell trembles at your survival. You were supposed to break, but instead you rose. You were supposed to quit, but instead you pushed through. That is why you feel different now. That is why something inside of you whispers, this is not the end. This is the unveiling. And, chosen one, the moment you step beyond the test, your identity shifts. You are no longer the one being examined, you are now the one being commissioned. The trial was never meant to destroy you, it was designed to prove you. Every tear watered the seed of destiny. Every rejection refined your fire. Every loss carved space for greater gain. You had to lose, so you could be entrusted with what is eternal. Now, the crown of life rests upon your spirit. This is not the cheap crown of human applause or fleeting success. This is the eternal signet of one who has endured and been found faithful. And as it rests upon you, so does authority, the same voice that said, "Let there be light," now thunders. Let there be reward. You are stepping into a new atmosphere, a season where what once resisted you must yield, and what once rejected you must now recognize you. Feel the shift in the air. Doors that mocked you before will swing open with ease. Enemies that sneered will fall silent. Chains that clung tightly will snap without warning. For you are not merely surviving now, you are ascending. You are not crawling through brokenness, you are rising with wings like an eagle, strengthened by the fire you endured. But hear this clearly, this reward is not only for you. The test you passed was never just personal, it was prophetic. Your victory has paved the way for others. When you speak, hope will rise in those who are still battling. When you walk, people will sense courage to keep going. Your presence will become an atmosphere, carrying proof that endurance births glory. You are stepping into a season where your life will become a message. No longer will your pain be wasted, it will be weaponized. No longer will your scars be shame, they will be signs. No longer will your story be hidden, it will be a testimony that shakes the ground. And through it all, you will remember, this was not your doing. This was the grace of the one who chose you, refined you, and crowned you. So I tell you, beloved, guard this moment. Do not dismiss it as another passing word. This is divine timing. This is the hour where heaven points at you and says, That one faithful, tested, proven, chosen. Let your spirit stand tall. Lift your head. Wipe your tears. Your name is spoken in the courts of heaven. Your destiny is unfolding before you. And now, take a prophetic step. Declare your alignment. Not in silence, but in action. If you know you are one of the chosen who has passed the test, I call you to mark this moment. Like, share, and subscribe, not for numbers, but as a prophetic witness that you are sealing your yes. And in the comments below, type the number 77 as a sign of completion and covenant. A declaration that you have crossed over and stepped into the fullness of your reward. This is not a suggestion. This is a prophetic act. Heaven responds to faith. And this is your chance to declare it boldly. You are chosen. You are crowned. You are stepping into destiny. The test is finished. The reward begins. Chosen one. The moment the test ended, heaven recorded your victory. What you endured was not overlooked. What you overcame was not forgotten. Heaven is meticulous. Nothing escapes its records. Your tears were collected like precious jewels. Your prayers were stored like incense before the throne, and your sacrifices were etched into eternity. Now, a new chapter opens, not one of striving to, but of sealing. The mark of the overcomer has been placed upon you. There are books in heaven, books that carry the names of those who endure, books that testify of lives lived faithfully in obedience. Some names are erased because of rebellion, others never written because of compromise, but yours is there, shining with the seal of perseverance. You have become one of those whose name carries weight in both realms, the seen and the unseen. This is not human recognition. Crowns and medals from people fade, but the acknowledgement of the Almighty cannot be taken away. The one who formed galaxies has spoken your name before angels, declaring, "This one belongs to me. This one has passed. This one is sealed." That seal is not ink, but fire. Not words, but spirit. It is the invisible yet undeniable evidence that you belong to the kingdom of light. The Spirit spoke through the book of Revelation chapter 3, verse 5. The one who is victorious will be dressed in white. I will never blot out their name from the book of life. Let these words burn into you. White garments mean purity restored. Your past does not define you. The seal of heaven covers you. Every accusation, every label placed by others, every shadow from your mistakes is dissolved by this decree. You wear white because your endurance has been received as faith. Heaven does not dress you in shame. Heaven dresses you in victory. Do you feel the weight of that acknowledgement? Imagine for a moment your name, spoken by the Son before the Father, before the hosts of heaven. Every principality that once opposed you now hears it too. You are not hidden anymore. Your name is announced like a banner unfurled across the heavens, chosen, sealed, victorious. This seal shifts the trajectory of your life. Where once you walked in uncertainty, now there is clarity. Where you felt forgotten, now you are remembered. Where you carried reproach, now you carry honor. Nothing can undo this mark. Demons may rage, people may doubt, but the decree from the throne cannot be reversed. Chosen one, when heaven seals you, even earth begins to respond. Creation itself recognizes the ones marked with divine approval. Doors open not because of effort, but because of alignment. Resources flow not because of striving, but because of recognition. The seal carries weight. It announces to both realms that you are authorized to walk as one set apart. Think of Joseph, imprisoned, forgotten by men, but remembered by God. In one day, the seal of heaven shifted him from dungeon to palace. Think of Daniel, thrown into a den of lions, yet sealed with faith so strong that even beasts recognized it. Think of Esther, hidden in obscurity, until heaven's seal called her to stand before kings. Their lives remind you that the seal is not a symbol, it is power. It is recognition. It is divine elevation. You too are entering that season. The seal upon your name is not just for comfort, it is for commissioning. You are acknowledged not to remain silent, but to step boldly into what has been assigned to you. This is why the enemy fought so hard to silence you. Why the test was so severe, because once you crossed this threshold, your very presence would become a threat to darkness. Beloved, do not underestimate the significance of this moment. The name written, the garments white, the acknowledgement spoken, it is eternal. Nothing on earth compares to being recognized in the courts of heaven. Kings and rulers may never know your name, but the Lord of hosts does. Crowds may never cheer for you, but angels stand in awe of the one who calls you his. That is enough, more than enough. So walk now with head lifted. You do not need to prove yourself to anyone. The seal proves it. You do not need to justify your journey. The record in heaven speaks for you. You do not need to fear being overlooked. The Father himself has acknowledged you. Chosen one. Breathe deeply. Let peace settle into your spirit. The striving is over. The test is finished. The verdict is eternal. You are written in the book of life, clothed in garments of white, sealed by the Spirit of the living God. This is who you are, now marked, acknowledged, chosen, and nothing, no power in heaven or earth or hell, can blot your name from his hand. Chosen one. Do you feel it? The weight that pressed on your shoulders for so long has begun to lift. The invisible chains that once bound your progress are snapping, one after another. You walked through valleys of betrayal, seasons of delay, and even moments where you doubted whether freedom was ever possible. Yet here you stand, not only breathing, but rising. Because what bound you yesterday no longer has authority today. The truth is this: every chain had an assignment. Some were meant to silence your voice, others to dim your fire, and some to keep you walking in circles. But heaven never intended for you to remain imprisoned. The test revealed that no matter how heavy the restraints, your spirit could not be conquered. The time has come for release. Scripture echoes this freedom with power, as it is written in the Gospel of John chapter 8, verse 36. So if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. Hear this deeply. Freedom is not a concept, it is a reality. Freedom is not just the absence of chains, but the presence of authority. You are not only freed from something, you are freed into something. The Son himself declares it over you. Indeed, truly, unquestionably free. No enemy can rewrite that verdict. Think back on what held you. Cycles of addiction that promised comfort but left you empty. Patterns of betrayal where people used your kindness as weakness. Shadows of fear whispering that you would never break through. All of these chains have now lost their grip. The tests you endured were the hammer in heaven's hand, shattering every link that dared to remain. Chosen one, when chains break, it is loud in the spirit. Darkness trembles because it knows you will never return to the same cage. You carry the sound of liberty now. Your footsteps announce it. Your prayers release it. Your voice becomes a trumpet declaring, freedom is possible. But understand this, freedom is not given lightly. It is entrusted, and those who are entrusted with freedom must guard it. Do not let the enemy trick you into revisiting the prison you have already left. Do not let old habits masquerade as comfort. Do not let familiar voices lure you back into compromise. You have been sealed as free, and now you must walk as free. Your testimony is the evidence of this liberty. When you tell your story, chains begin to crack in others. When you reveal how you survived, captives begin to believe deliverance is real. You are not just free for yourself, you are free so that others can see the way out. The light you now carry shines most brightly in places where chains still remain. Chosen one. The breaking of chains is also the birth of authority. You prayed before, but now your prayers carry weight because you know what bondage feels like. You sang before, but now your songs break atmospheres because they come from a liberated heart. You walked before, but now your steps tread heavily on darkness because you carry the seal of one who has overcome. This is why the enemy fought so hard to keep you bound, because a liberated chosen one is dangerous. When you rise, others rise. When you speak, others hear truth. When you move, entire atmospheres shift. You are a carrier of freedom now, and nothing in hell can reverse it. So I challenge you in this moment. Make your declaration public, not for others, but for yourself, as a prophetic act. In the comments, type these 3 words: chains are broken. Oh, why? Because when you write it, you agree with heaven's decree. When your fingers type it, your spirit testifies that you will never wear those shackles again. It is more than a comment, it is a covenant. It is you saying, I believe the Son has made me free, and I choose to remain in that freedom. Beloved, the breaking of chains marks the end of delay. Where once you felt stuck, you will now see acceleration. Where once you fought just to stand, you will now run. What once drained your strength will now fuel your testimony. You are stepping into a life you never thought possible. Because freedom is not only given, it multiplies. Every step forward you take spreads ripples of liberty to those watching you. This is your reality now. No more shackles. No more shame. No more endless cycles of defeat. You are free, and you are called to walk in that freedom daily. Lift your head, breathe deeply, and feel it. The weight is gone, the chains are broken, and you will never be the same. Chosen one. When chains fall and garments of freedom are placed upon you, there is always a next step. Heaven does not free you and then leave you wandering. Freedom is only the doorway. Beyond that doorway lies a map, a design, a divine blueprint crafted before the foundation of the world. The one who created galaxies also created your path, not randomly, but with purpose. And now that the testing is over, the scroll of your assignment begins to unfold. This is why, even in moments of stillness, You feel the stirring within. You sense direction pulling you. Though you may not yet see the whole picture, the blueprint of heaven rarely arrives all at once. It comes piece by piece, revealed only as your obedience grows. Like Abraham, you may hear, "Go," before you know where. Like Moses, you may be called before you believe you are qualified. Yet what matters is not what you know, but that the designer of the plan walks with you. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Loss. Do you feel the certainty in those words? Not maybe, not if, but I know. Heaven's confidence covers what you doubt. You are not creating destiny from fragments. You are stepping into what has already been written. Every moment of obedience moves you further into alignment with what was designed long before your first breath. Chosen one. The blueprint of heaven is not just about tasks, it is about timing. There are seasons attached to every assignment, doors that open only at the right moment, and opportunities that carry the fragrance of divine timing. The test you endured was preparing you for this. Had you received the blueprint too soon, you might have mishandled it. But now, refined by fire, you are ready to carry instructions without compromise. The blueprint also carries details. God does not deal in vague destinies. He is precise. Think of Noah. He did not simply tell him to build an ark. He gave measurements, materials, and design. Think of Moses. He did not simply say, "Build a tabernacle." He described each lampstand, each curtain, each stone. When heaven releases a blueprint, it comes with direction so exact that even your steps are guided. Perhaps you feel unqualified to receive such a plan. Perhaps you still wrestle with the memory of past failures. But hear this, God does not reveal blueprints to the perfect, but to the willing. Your willingness outweighs your weakness. Your yes outweighs your questions. If you wait until you feel flawless, you will never move. But if you trust the author of the plan, he will equip you for every line he reveals. Chosen one. The blueprint also requires trust when the pieces seem incomplete. Sometimes you will see only a corner of the canvas, a glimpse of the larger masterpiece. That is intentional. God is not hiding the plan from you. He is revealing it in a way that builds faith. If you saw the whole journey, you might run ahead. If you saw the challenges, you might shrink back. But when he gives one piece at a time, it keeps you close to his voice, dependent on his guidance, anchored in his presence. Your role is not to demand every detail, but to steward every step. The plan will unfold as you walk. Think of Israel at the Jordan River. Only when the priests stepped into the water did the path appear. The blueprint is not a static document. It is a living design revealed as you move. Chosen one. You are not walking blindly. Every past experience, even the painful ones, were shaping tools. Each hardship became instruction. Each wound became wisdom. Each battle became training. Now, as the blueprint unfolds, you will see how even broken pieces fit into divine design. Nothing was wasted. What you thought was delay was preparation. What you thought was punishment was positioning. The beauty of heaven's blueprint is that it always ends in glory. The destination is not destruction, but life. not despair but hope. The verse says clearly plans to prosper, not to harm. That does not mean the journey will be without struggle, but it does mean the outcome is secure. Your steps are ordered. Your path is written. Your future is held in the hands of the Eternal. So, breathe. Chosen one, do not fear the unknown. The unknown is only unknown to you. It is fully known to God. Trust the one who writes the plan, because his knowledge is not like human knowledge. He sees the end from the beginning, the summit from the valley, the sunrise from the night. If he says he knows the plans, then you can rest. You are not lost. You are guided. You are not wandering. You are aligned. The divine blueprint has been released over your life. Guard it, treasure it, and most of all, walk it out. Each day, each decision, each act of obedience is a line drawn closer to the masterpiece that heaven has declared over you. Chosen one, step into this vision with me. You stand in the midst of a great hall, the air thick with the fragrance of oil and incense. A hush falls across the assembly, for heaven is about to do what only heaven can do. Place a crown upon your head, not a crown made of gold alone, but of authority, of testimony, of endurance. You are being crowned not in secret, but before witnesses, before angels, before enemies, before those who once doubted you. The coronation is happening now. This crowning is not about vanity. It is about responsibility. The crown is not a decoration. It is a commission. The moment it rests upon your spirit, you are no longer merely surviving storms. You are appointed to guide others through theirs. You have become a lighthouse, chosen to stand on the shore, burning bright so that those still lost in the tempest know the way home. The prophet Isaiah spoke of this moment in the sacred scroll, Isaiah chapter 62. Verse 3, "You will be a crown of splendor in the Lord's hand, a royal diadem in the hand of your God." Oh, do you feel that? You are not wearing the crown alone, you are the crown. Your life itself has become something precious that the Lord displays, not as a trophy, but as evidence of his faithfulness. He holds you high, like a diadem in his hand, saying to the world, "Look what I can do with one who does not give up." Our chosen one. This crowning shifts how you walk. You cannot shrink anymore. You cannot live hidden anymore. The light on you demands that you stand tall. The weight on you demands that you move with care. You are no longer wandering, you are leading. And those who follow will find safety in your shadow, because the one who crowned you also anointed you to carry others. Think of the oil that flows down Aaron's beard in the psalm. It did not stop at his head. It spread. It covered. It overflowed. Your crown is like that. It is not for you alone. It is for your family, for your generation, for strangers you do not yet know. You wear this crown so that hope multiplies through you. Beloved, let me speak plainly. This is why voices like this one, spaces like this, community, matters so deeply. When you pause to hear these words, it is not just inspiration, it is oil being poured, fire being fanned, courage being strengthened. And just as a crown must be polished, a flame must be fed. This is why your support matters. When you like, you are saying, "This word has struck my spirit." When you share, you are extending the oil to others who desperately need it. When you subscribe, you are stepping closer, saying, "I want to remain near the fire." And when you donate, you are not just giving to a channel, you are placing wood on the altar, ensuring that the flame does not flicker out. Think of it as tending a lamp in a dark house. Each gesture of support, whether a like, a share, a subscription, or a seed of generosity, is another drop of oil that keeps the lamp burning. Without oil, even the strongest flame fades. But with oil, the fire grows, filling rooms, chasing away shadows, guiding footsteps that would otherwise stumble. Chosen one, understand this clearly. I do not speak of giving as a demand. No crown is bought with coins. No reward is earned with donations. This is not a transaction, it is an act of alignment. It is saying, I will not only receive the oil, I will also help sustain the vessel through which it flows. And heaven sees that heart. Heaven multiplies that seed. You are crowned and commissioned now. That means your story is no longer just about you. Every act of obedience, every word of encouragement, every step you take is shaping the journey of someone else. That is why it is vital that you walk fully in your calling, without fear, without hesitation. Heaven has placed the crown upon your head. Now, wear it with boldness. Chosen one, as you step out of this hall, crowned and radiant, do not forget, you are both the bearer of light and the vessel through which others will see the light. The one who crowned you is faithful to keep you, to strengthen you, to guide you. But he also calls you to walk with open hands, sowing what you can, pouring what you carry, and shining without apology. Your crowning is the evidence that the season of testing is complete. You are no longer hidden. You are no longer silenced. You are lifted high, a diadem in his hand. Walk forth now, not as a survivor, but as a crowned one, commissioned to lead, to guide, and to ignite. Chosen one. Crowns are placed not only as symbols of honor, but as tokens of inheritance. When heaven crowns you, it is not just recognition, it is release. You are stepping into the portion reserved for those who endured. And sometimes, heaven speaks in ways that seem hidden to the natural mind, in signs, in visions, even in numbers. You may have noticed this already: repeated patterns, sequences that catch your eye, numbers that follow you. These are not accidents. They are prophetic whispers. They are markers in the spiritual realm, declaring that heaven is aligning your path. The same God who set the stars in their places, who ordered the days of creation, still speaks in order, in pattern, in divine sequence. We are reminded through the words of David in the Psalms. Chapter 2, verse 8, Ask me, and I will make the nations your inheritance, the ends of the earth your possession. This verse is not casual, it is covenant. It reveals that what you are stepping into is not small, not local, not temporary. It is expansive. Your reward is not just personal comfort, it is kingdom territory. The blueprint you carry connects to nations, to generations, to eternal purpose. And heaven will use even the language of numbers to remind you that inheritance is unfolding. Chosen one. When you see the patterns, when the same numbers repeat, it is as if the Spirit is underlining the sentence of your destiny. It is heaven's way of saying, pay attention. This moment is marked. Numbers like Arba, Me'ot Arba'im Ve'arba, 555 or 888 are not mere coincidences. They are heavenly fingerprints pressed into your days. Consider 888. Often seen as a number of new beginnings and resurrection, it is a reminder that the old has passed away and the new has come. Consider 444, often aligned with divine order and protection, signaling that angels are surrounding and that stability is being established. Consider 555, often tied to grace multiplied, a shift of seasons and favor that cannot be denied. These numbers are not to be worshipped, but to be recognized as breadcrumbs along your journey. Beloved, heaven is generous with its signs because it knows the weight of the road you carry. These signs are reminders that you are not forgotten, that you are on the right path, that your inheritance is closer than it feels. When your eyes fall upon them, do not dismiss them. Whisper a thank you to heaven, for these are seals placed upon your days. But here is the key. Signs mean nothing if you do not align. It is one thing to see a number, it is another to agree with the word behind it. That is why prophetic acts matter. They are ways of saying, I see, I hear, I believe. And in this moment, you are being invited to mark your alignment in the simplest yet most powerful way. In the comments, type the number 888. Do not see this as a mere comment. See it as a seal, a declaration that you receive the new beginnings heaven is unfolding. When you type it, you are saying, I align with resurrection power, with fresh doors opening, with inheritance being released. It is not about the digits on a screen, it is about faith being spoken into the atmosphere. Chosen one. When you act in faith, heaven responds. Think of Joshua at Jericho. The walls did not fall until the shout was released. Think of Naaman. The healing did not manifest until he dipped in the Jordan. Faith always requires a response. And your response here is both simple and prophetic. Declare 888, and let heaven seal what has already been written. Your inheritance is not waiting in some distant realm. It is unfolding now. The signs, the numbers, the whispers are all pointing to the same truth. You have crossed into reward. You are no longer striving for approval. You are walking in confirmation. Every pattern is heaven's reminder. Keep going. You are exactly where you should be. So let your spirit rest. Do not chase after signs for the sake of curiosity, but let them encourage you when they appear. They are love notes from the Father, assurances that you are on His radar, that your destiny is not forgotten, that your reward is secured. Chosen one. Lift your head. The inheritance is real. The signs are true, and your agreement matters. Heaven speaks in patterns because heaven is a God of order. And you, crowned and chosen, are now part of that divine order. Type it. Declare it. Believe it. 888. This is your act of faith, your seal of agreement, your prophetic alignment with the inheritance that is already flowing your way. Chosen one. Pause and notice the shift within you. It is subtle, yet undeniable. Where once your words seemed to fall unnoticed, now they carry weight. Where once your prayers felt like whispers lost in the wind, now they strike with force, reverberating through the unseen. You are walking in a new authority, an authority that was forged in the furnace of your trials and sealed by the crown upon your head. Authority is not given lightly. It is never the reward of comfort, but always the fruit of endurance. The words you speak now are different because they have been baptized in suffering, tested in silence, and purified in fire. You do not speak out of theory, you speak out of testimony. And testimony is what terrifies darkness, for it proves that light cannot be extinguished. The apostle reminds us in his letter, James chapter 5, verse 16, "The prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective." This is not just a verse, it is your reality. Your righteousness does not come from perfection, but from surrender. It is the posture of your heart that gives your words authority, not the volume of your voice. Heaven listens when you speak, not because you are flawless, but because you are chosen. Think of how your prayers once felt. You wondered if they mattered, if they reached beyond your ceiling. But now, you sense it. The air shifts when you speak. The atmosphere bends when you pray. You feel the weight, the fire, the certainty that your words are not bouncing back, but piercing forward. That is the mark of authority. Chosen one. This authority is not only for intercession, it is for declaration. When you declare peace over your home, it comes. When you declare healing over your body, strength rises. When you declare breakthrough over your path, doors open. This is not arrogance, it is alignment. You are aligning your voice with heaven's decree. And heaven always confirms its own word. Authority also brings responsibility. You cannot speak carelessly anymore. Casual words, bitter murmurs, empty complaints, these no longer fit who you are. For the same tongue that calls down fire cannot afford to scatter ashes. Your authority requires discipline, not silence but wisdom. Each word you release must be intentional, carrying either life or death, blessing or curse. And as one chosen, you are called to steward life. Think of Elijah, who prayed and the heavens shut, who prayed again and rain returned. He was a man like us, yet his authority was born from intimacy. Think of Hannah, whose whispered prayer shifted generations by birthing a prophet. Think of Jesus, who spoke with authority unlike the teachers of the law, because his words carried the heartbeat of the Father. This same authority flows through you now, because the same Spirit dwells within you. Chosen one. Your authority is not limited to moments of prayer behind closed doors. It follows you into every environment. When you walk into a room, the unseen responds. Oppression loosens. Heaviness lifts. Hope stirs. Not because of your personality, but because of your presence, because you carry the presence of the one who sent you. There will be times when people cannot explain why they feel different around you. They may not know the language of the Spirit, but they will know the effect. That is authority, quiet, undeniable, transformative. You do not need to announce it. It announces itself. But hear this clearly, authority will be tested. The enemy does not surrender territory without resistance. You may notice pushback, sudden storms, unexpected opposition. Do not be alarmed. These are signs that your authority is real. Darkness always tries to intimidate what it fears. Stand firm. Do not retreat. You are not speaking alone. You are backed by heaven's host. Chosen one. Your voice has become a weapon. Your prayers, once whispered in weakness, now roar with fire. Your declarations, once tentative, Now, shape reality. You are walking in the mantle of those who came before you, prophets, intercessors, warriors, because you, too, have been found faithful. So lift your voice, not in fear, but in confidence. Pray with boldness. Declare with certainty. Speak with clarity. The authority you carry is not fragile, it is eternal. And as you walk in it, you will see the fruit chains breaking, hearts softening, miracles manifesting, atmospheres shifting. This is not exaggeration, this is inheritance. Chosen one, guard your words, but do not withhold them. The world needs the fire in your voice. Heaven entrusted you with this authority because you can be trusted to use it well. Walk now in that truth. Your prayers are powerful. Your words are effective. And your authority is undeniable. Chosen one. Every crown comes with oil, not the oil of man that fades with time, but the oil of heaven that seeps into your very bones and shifts generations. This oil is not poured upon you for show, it is poured for restoration. For what was stolen must now be returned. What was broken must now be rebuilt. What was wasted must now be restored. You know what it means to lose. You know the sting of betrayal, the emptiness of missed opportunities, the ache of watching years slip through your fingers. You have seen things crumble that you thought would stand forever. You have felt dreams delayed, promises deferred, and relationships shattered. But hear this clearly, none of it was wasted. The season of loss was not your ending. It was heaven setting the stage for restoration. The prophet Joel declared in his scroll, chapter 2, verse 25, I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten. Then, do you see the depth of that promise? It is not only about restoring things, it is about restoring years, time itself. The very thing you thought was lost forever is subject to God's hand. He does not merely give back what was taken, He multiplies it, redeems it, and compresses it so that what should have taken decades can happen in moments. Chosen one. Restoration is not simply replacement. If you lost one friend, God does not merely give you another. He gives you covenant relationships that carry destiny. If you lost finances, He does not just refill your wallet, He establishes streams that cannot be cut off. If you lost peace, He does not only quiet the storm, He fills you with a joy so deep it terrifies the darkness. Restoration is always greater than what was lost. Think of Job, who lost everything, yet saw it returned, double. Think of Joseph, who was sold as a slave, but rose to rule nations. Think of Ruth, who was widowed in despair, but became the ancestor of kings. Their stories are not distant, they are patterns. You, too, are stepping into that same current of restoration. Beloved, restoration also touches your bloodline. Many of the battles you fought were not even yours. They were inherited. Cycles of poverty, patterns of addiction, chains of rejection, all passed from generation to generation, landed on you. But your endurance, your obedience, your faith has broken the chain. You are anointed not only to live free, but to restore what was lost in your family line. The blessings withheld from your ancestors are now being released through you. This is why your struggle felt so intense. It was not just about your life. It was about generations. You carried the weight of battles that others could not win. And because you stood, those who come after you will walk in freedom you never knew. your children, your descendant. Even those spiritually connected to you will eat fruit from trees you fought to plant. That is restoration, blessings flowing forward because of victories won behind. Chosen one. Restoration is also about reclaiming territory. There are places the enemy marked as his, places where darkness reigned and light was silenced. But now, because you carry the oil, you are sent to step into those places and reclaim them. Your presence itself is restoration. When you walk into a room heavy with despair, hope rises. When you speak into chaos, order returns. When you pray over ruins, they begin to rebuild. This is not because of who you are, but because of the anointing that rests upon you. Do not underestimate the oil. It is subtle, yet unstoppable. It seeps into cracks, filling every gap. It softens what was hardened, heals what was broken, revives what was dead. This oil does not run dry because its source is eternal. The more you pour, the more flows. That is why your restoration will not end with you. Those around you will taste it, and even those far from you will feel its ripple. Beloved, restoration also demands patience. Sometimes it comes suddenly, a wave crashing in. Other times it comes like dawn, slowly but surely, rising. Do not despise the process. Trust the timing. What God restores, He restores fully, not half, not partial, but complete. Every thread of loss is rewoven into a garment of glory. Chosen one. Lift your eyes. Do not fix them on what you lost, but on what is being rebuilt. The oil upon you ensures that nothing was wasted. Every tear is being turned into testimony, every wound into wisdom, every scar into strength. You are the vessel of restoration in this hour. Walk in it boldly, receive it deeply, and remember, restoration is not only about you, it is about what flows through you. You are anointed to rebuild, to reclaim, to restore. What the locusts devoured will not remain devoured. What was torn down will not remain ruins. You are the sign that restoration has begun. Chosen one. Restoration is powerful. But heaven is not content with mere balance. You are not stepping into a season where you only recover what was lost. You are stepping into a season of multiplication, of overflow, of double. This is the principle of divine exchange. You gave tears. You received joy in double. You endured shame. You inherit honor in double. You carried rejection. You are now embraced in double measure. The scroll of Isaiah records this promise in chapter 61, verse 7. Instead of your shame, you will receive double portion. You will rejoice in inheritance, and everlasting joy will be yours. Do you feel the weight of that word? Double portion is not just a blessing, it is a vindication. It is heaven's way of saying, I saw the suffering, I measured the pain, and I will repay in multiplied joy. What the enemy stole will not only be returned, it will come back, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Chosen one. Double portion does not appear by chance. It comes by passing through the furnace. Elisha received a double anointing because he followed Elijah faithfully until the very end. Job received double because he did not curse God in the midst of devastation. Even Joseph, who was sold into slavery, rose not just to survive, but to carry authority that preserved nations. The double is always given to those who endure what others could not. Your story is no different. Every time you were overlooked, every time your name was dragged through the mud, every time doors slammed in your face, you were being positioned for double. Heaven has kept count. Nothing was missed. Nothing was wasted. Even the deepest nights of sorrow have been tallied, and the answer to them is abundance. Think of it this way. A farmer who sows in tears does not reap only one seed back. The ground multiplies. The harvest is always greater than the sowing. You sowed faithfulness when you could have surrendered. You sowed forgiveness when you could have chosen bitterness. You sowed perseverance when you could have walked away. And now, the harvest is ripe. Heaven decrees, double portion. Beloved, this double is not only external. Yes, doors will open, opportunities will appear, and blessings will flow. But the deepest double is internal. You will carry double strength, double wisdom, double peace. Where once fear shook you, now courage anchors you. Where once doubt clouded you, now clarity shines through. The trials did not just prepare you for external reward, they forged internal riches that cannot be stolen. This is why your presence will become a fountain for others. People will come to you, weary, and they will leave refreshed. They will come confused, and they will leave with clarity. They will come broken, and they will leave restored. Because double is not selfish, it is overflowing. You carry more than enough, so that you can pour without running dry. Chosen one. Double portion also brings responsibility. With greater measure comes greater stewardship. You must hold the abundance with open hands, never clutching as if it were your own, but always remembering that you are a steward, not the source. The oil flows through you, not from you. The blessings are entrusted to you so they can multiply again through you. And here, right now, I want you to seal this truth with a prophetic declaration. In the comments, type these words, I receive double. And why this declaration? Because agreement activates release. When you say it, you are not begging heaven. You are aligning with what heaven has already spoken. You are saying, I believe, I accept, I walk in it, and as your spirit declares it, your life begins to shift in accordance. Beloved, do not minimize this moment. You have carried shame, but now joy is coming in waves. You have endured lack, but now provision is flooding in. You have stood alone, but now honor surrounds you. The double portion is not abstract. It is here. It is now. It is yours. Walk boldly into it. Expect to see doors open you never knocked on. Expect to feel peace deeper than you ever imagined. Expect to watch restoration multiply in ways that take your breath away. This is your inheritance, sealed not by man, but by the decree of heaven itself. Chosen one. Double is not coming. Double has arrived. Chosen one. There is a flow being released into your life. And it is not random. It is heaven's transfer. Provision is shifting hands. Wealth, opportunities, and resources are moving from places of corruption into the hands of those who are faithful. This is not about greed or self-indulgence. It is about alignment. Heaven entrusts resources to those who will use them for light, for building, for advancing the kingdom. You have endured seasons where lack pressed against you like a heavy stone. You counted coins while others counted crowns. You wondered if you would ever taste abundance, or if scarcity would be your constant companion. But the very fact that you endured, that you remained faithful even when your hands were empty, has qualified you to receive what is being poured now. It is written in the letter to the Philippians, chapter 4, verse 19, "My God will meet all your needs according to the riches of His glory in Christ Jesus." Chosen one. Notice the certainty. Will meet, not might, not possibly, will, and not according to earthly accounts, but according to riches in glory. Heaven is never bankrupt. Its storehouses overflow. Its treasury never runs dry. And now, that endless reservoir is being directed toward you. Provision comes in many forms. Sometimes it looks like finances. Yes, unexpected income. Debts cancelled. Opportunities unlocked. Sometimes it looks like people, divine connections carrying keys you could never have forged yourself. Sometimes it looks like ideas, wisdom, and creativity that open doors no man can shut. All of these are currency in heaven's economy, and all of them are being transferred into your life in this season. But let me speak to your heart plainly. Resources flow best where there is stewardship. Just as rivers flow through channels carved into the earth, heaven's wealth flows through vessels that are prepared. A river cannot fill a broken jar, nor can oil stay in a vessel that leaks. That is why your testing season was so intense. It was not punishment. It was preparation. Heaven was sealing cracks, strengthening your vessel, teaching you to steward little so you could carry much. Now, chosen one, the flood begins, but it is not meant to stop with you. You are not a reservoir, you are a river. Provision is entrusted to you, so it can move through you. You are to feed, to build, to solve, to sustain. The more you pour, the more will come. The more you release, the more will flow. That is the divine cycle of heaven's economy. Give, and it will be given. Pressed down, shaken together, running over. This is why communities like this matter. Words like these are oil lamps in the dark. But every lamp needs oil. Every fire needs wood. Every well must be drawn from if it is to keep flowing. When you like, when you share, when you subscribe, you are saying, keep the lamp burning, keep the fire alive, keep the well flowing. And when you sow financially, when you donate, you are not just giving to a channel, you are becoming part of the river that carries light to countless others. Think of it this way. A lighthouse cannot shine without fuel. A tree cannot bear fruit without water. A trumpet cannot sound without breath. Your support, whether a click, a share, a subscription, or a seed, is the fuel, the water, the breath. It ensures that the light reaches further. The fruit multiplies. The sound carries louder. And make no mistake, heaven sees what you pour. Every drop of generosity is noted. Every act of alignment is remembered. No gift is wasted. No seed is ignored. As you help sustain the flow for others, heaven ensures the flow never stops for you. Chosen one. I do not speak this as manipulation. I speak this as alignment. Heaven's transfer is not a lottery ticket, it is a covenant. And when you align with the covenant, you position yourself under its flood. You are not giving to man, you are sowing into eternity. You are not supporting a voice. You are fueling a movement. So, as you hear this, let your spirit respond. Like, because it is agreement. Share, because someone else is starving for this light. Subscribe, because you want to stay near the flow. And if heaven nudges your heart, sow a seed. Donate not under compulsion, but with joy, as a declaration. I believe in the fire, and I will help keep it burning. Oh, chosen one, the transfer has begun. Resources are shifting. Provision is flowing. Opportunities are being unlocked. You have been tested. You have been refined. And now you are trusted. Walk boldly into the abundance. Steward it well. Let it flow through you like a river. And watch as the God of glory proves himself faithful again and again, until your testimony is not just survival, but overflow. Chosen one, when heaven entrusts you with new authority and fresh provision, it does not intend for you to walk alone. The journey of destiny is never meant to be solitary. Even the strongest warrior needs allies. Even the brightest flame shines brighter when joined by others. In this season, divine partnerships and alignments are being orchestrated for you. You have already known the pain of misplaced connections. People you trusted abandoned you. Some relationships drained rather than strengthened. Some alliances looked promising but ended in betrayal. These were not accidents. They were necessary separations. Heaven had to remove the wrong alignments before releasing the right ones. A blueprint cannot be built with crooked beams, and your destiny cannot be supported by unstable foundations. Now, the shift has come. Heaven is weaving threads of connection, bringing people into your path who carry keys you cannot forge alone. Some will be mentors, walking ahead of you, carrying wisdom that saves you from unnecessary battles. Some will be companions, standing beside you, bearing burdens with you in prayer and faith. Some will be those you are called to lead, whose destinies will bloom under your covering. Each connection is intentional, none by coincidence. According to what is revealed in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, verse 9, 2 are better than 1, because they have a good return for their labor. And chosen one. These words are not simply practical advice, they are spiritual law. When two hearts align under heaven's purpose, the effect multiplies. One can chase 1,000, but two can put 10,000 to flight. The enemy knows this, which is why he tried so hard to isolate you. He feared the power of your alignment, but he has failed. The season of divine partnership is here. These alignments will not be built on shallow interests or fleeting emotions. They will be founded on the Spirit. You will know them by the peace they bring, by the fire that ignites when you pray together, by the sense of destiny that surrounds the connection. These are not people who tolerate your calling, they celebrate it. They are not threatened by your crown, they honor it. They are not drawn by selfish gain, they are assigned by heaven's hand. Think of David and Jonathan, their souls knit together in covenant, strengthening one another through trials. Think of Ruth and Naomi, walking side by side into a new season of redemption. Think of Paul and Timothy, a bond of mentorship that preserved the faith across generations. These are not just stories, they are patterns, and you are stepping into the same. Beloved, do not fear the vulnerability these connections require. True partnerships require trust. And trust requires openness. Yes, you were wounded before, but this is a new season. Guard your heart, but do not wall it off. The very connections you fear may be the ones carrying the breakthrough you prayed for. Divine partnerships also bring balance. Where you are strong, you will lift others. Where you are weak, others will steady you. This is humility, not weakness. No one carries the whole mission alone. Jesus sent his disciples 2 by 2. For even the Son of God modeled the power of partnership. You are not less anointed because you need others. You are wise because you walk with them. Chosen one. Alignments are also assignments. Do not cling to those God sends if their season ends. Some connections are lifelong, others seasonal. Discernment will be your anchor. Honor those who walk with you for a time. Release them when their path diverges. And treasure the ones who remain. Every partnership has purpose, even if it does not last forever. This season of alignment will feel like puzzle pieces clicking into place. Where confusion once reigned, clarity will come through counsel. Where isolation once drained you, companionship will refresh you. Where battles once felt overwhelming, partnership will bring victory. These alignments are not distractions, they are instruments of destiny. Chosen one. Lift your eyes. Look for the ones heaven is sending. Do not dismiss them because they look ordinary. Often the greatest treasures come in humble vessels. Do not resist them because of fear. Trust the Spirit to confirm their place in your life. And do not idolize them. Remember, they are partners, not saviors. The same God who connected you will sustain you. You are not walking alone anymore. The oil upon you attracts others who carry oil too. The fire within you seeks other flames, until together you become a blaze that no darkness can quench. These partnerships are heaven's gift, heaven's strategy, heaven's way of ensuring you do not fall when the weight grows heavy. Chosen one. Embrace the alignments. Welcome the mentors. Cherish the companions. Guide the ones entrusted to you. Together, you will see promises fulfilled, territories reclaimed, and destinies unlocked. For truly, two are better than one. And in your case, the time for divine alignment has come. Chosen one. There is a new steadiness rising within you. It is the kind of confidence that cannot be shaken by storms, mocked by enemies, or dismantled by fear. You have walked through fires that should have consumed you, waters that should have drowned you, valleys that should have broken you. Yet here you are, not just alive, but stronger, sharper, and unshakable. Confidence in the kingdom is not arrogance. It is not the boast of flesh, but the assurance of spirit. It is the calm knowledge that heaven has validated you, that your crown is real, that your name is written in the book of life. When you carry this awareness, you do not need to convince others. Their doubt cannot erase your calling, and their disbelief cannot undo your destiny. The wisdom of Proverbs speaks directly. In chapter 28, verse 1, the wicked flee though no one pursues, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. I'm point, beloved. You are that lion now, not timid, not hesitant, but bold. Bold in prayer, bold in decision, bold in walking the path heaven has carved for you. Your roar is not loud because of ego, but because of truth. You know who you are, and no power of darkness can silence that sound. This confidence is not something you force. It flows naturally from your alignment. You were once hesitant, questioning every step, seeking constant validation. But the tests refined you. The crown settled upon you. The oil anointed you. And now, you walk with the unshakable knowing, I am chosen. I am sealed. I am sent. I'm chosen one. Confidence is not the absence of battles. It is the refusal to bow in fear when battles come. Storms will still rise, but you will no longer panic. Enemies might still plot, but you will no longer retreat. Why? Because your spirit remembers. You have already faced worse and survived. You carry scars. Yes, but they are proof that you cannot be destroyed. This boldness will be noticed. People around you will wonder, what changed? How can you stand so calm when others crumble? They may not have language for it, but what they see is the spirit within you radiating strength. Your confidence becomes contagious. It awakens courage in those who have forgotten their own. You are no longer just walking your path, you are igniting others to walk theirs. Chosen one. This unshakable confidence also redefines how you see yourself. You no longer apologize for your light. You no longer shrink so others can feel comfortable. You no longer second guess whether you are worthy. Heaven already decided your worth. The Father already declared your identity. Your crown is not up for debate. And once you accept that, every step you take becomes a roar of faith. This boldness is also a weapon. The enemy thrives on intimidation. He roars loudly to convince you he has power. But when you roar back not in fear, but in faith, the illusion shatters. Confidence is warfare. When you stand tall, when you refuse to bow, when you declare truth without hesitation, darkness flees. Beloved, in this moment, let heaven see your alignment. Make a prophetic act. In the comments, type the number 4444. Why this number? Because 4 is the number of foundations north, south, east, and west. It is stability, unshakable ground, divine order. By declaring 4444, you are saying, my life is established, my steps are grounded, my destiny is secured. It is a proclamation that your confidence is not fragile, but firmly rooted in heaven's design. When you type it, let your spirit agree. I will not waver. I will not shrink. I am bold as a lion. This is more than a comment. It is a covenant. It is your spirit engraving stability into your path. Chosen one. From this day forward, walk differently, speak differently, decide differently. Do not second-guess the instructions heaven has given you. Do not delay when the Spirit nudges you. Do not apologize for the authority you carry. Stand firm, roar loud, and walk boldly. You are no longer a wanderer. You are a lion. Unshakable and unstoppable. Chosen one. As confidence takes root within you, something even greater begins to manifest, miracles flowing from your very life. Not only do you believe in signs and wonders, but you also become the vessel through which they are released. This is not exaggeration. It is the natural consequence of walking in alignment with heaven. When you carry the Spirit, the supernatural becomes your atmosphere. For so long, you prayed for miracles, asking to see them, longing to experience them. You thought miracles were for others, for saints in history, or for those with extraordinary callings. But the truth is this: miracles were always meant to flow through the chosen, through ordinary vessels refined by extraordinary fire. The tests you endured, the chains that broke, the oil that anointed you, all of it has prepared you to be a carrier of the miraculous. The Gospel of Mark declares with clarity in chapter 16, verses 17 and 18, "And these signs will accompany those who believe. In my name they will drive out demons, they will speak in new tongues, they will pick up snakes with their hands, and when they drink deadly poison, it will not hurt them at all. They will place their hands on sick people, and they will get well." Lo, chosen one. Do you hear the certainty in those words? These signs will accompany not might, not occasionally, but will. Miracles are not rare exceptions for believers. They are promises. They follow faith the way shadows follow light. And because you have endured and believed, those signs are now written into your journey. Miracles do not always announce themselves with thunder. Sometimes they come quietly, as sickness vanishes, peace replaces torment. Provision arrives at the very moment of need. Other times, they erupt like fire captives freed in an instant, chains snapping with a shout, storms silenced with a word, whether gentle or fierce. They are the fingerprints of heaven on earth, and they will be evident in your life. Chosen one, understand this: miracles are not meant to elevate you, but to glorify the one who sent you. When the miraculous flows through your hands, through your prayers, through your presence, it is not about your power, it is about your alignment. You are a vessel. You carry the oil, but the fire is His. You speak the word, but the authority is His. This humility is what keeps the miracles flowing. Think of Peter, whose shadow healed the sick. He did not boast of himself. He pointed always to Jesus. Think of Paul, whose handkerchiefs carried healing. He did not market himself as special. He poured himself out as a servant. The same Spirit that moved through them moves through you now, not because of title or position, but because of surrender. Miracles also serve a purpose beyond wonder. They are signs of restoration, confirmation, and direction. They restore what was broken. They confirm the word spoken, and they direct hearts back to the source. When a miracle manifests through your life, it is heaven's way of saying, "The kingdom is here." That is why the enemy despises miracles, why he tries to convince believers they are rare or impossible, because miracles expose his power as counterfeit. Chosen one, do not fear the miraculous. Some will doubt, some will mock, some will explain it away. But your role is not to convince, it is to carry. When the Spirit prompts you to pray for the sick, do it. When He nudges you to declare breakthrough, speak it. When He calls you to lay hands in faith, obey. The results are not in your hands, they are in His. Your only task is to believe and to act. You may wonder, am I worthy to carry miracles? Let me assure you, miracles are not about worthiness, but about willingness. The Spirit searches for vessels ready to yield, and you have already yielded. You are not perfect, but you are surrendered, and that is all He requires. Chosen one. Miracles will begin to ripple through your life. In your home, peace will reign where chaos once lived. In your body, strength will rise where weakness dwelled. In your work, provision will appear where lack threatened, and beyond you, miracles will touch those you encounter. Friends, family, strangers, your life will testify that the supernatural is not distant but near. So, walk with expectation. Do not treat miracles as rare surprises, but as daily companions. Look for them, speak them, release them. You are a living sign and wonder now, chosen not only to experience the miraculous, but to embody it. Chosen one. Miracles flowing through your life are not the end of the story, they are the beginning of a new battlefield. For every light that shines, there will be shadows that rise. For every breakthrough, there will be backlash. This is not to frighten you, but to prepare you. You are no longer just a survivor or a recipient of blessing. You are a warrior of light. And light, by its very nature, confront darkness. This new identity requires balance. Power without humility becomes pride. Authority without discipline becomes recklessness. Miracles without discernment become spectacle. The anointing you carry is a weapon, but it must be wielded with wisdom. A sword in the hands of a child is dangerous, but in the hands of a trained warrior, it is unstoppable. Heaven has entrusted you with this sword because you have been trained by fire. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 11, put on the full armor of God, so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. This armor is not optional. It is daily attire for a warrior of light. The belt of truth keeps you anchored when lies swirl around you. The breastplate of righteousness guards your heart against accusation. The shoes of peace steady your steps when chaos rises. The shield of faith quenches the fiery arrows aimed at your spirit. The helmet of salvation covers your mind when doubt tries to invade. And the sword of the Spirit, the Word of God, remains your weapon, sharper than any two-edged blade. Chosen one. Balance also means remembering who the real enemy is. People may mock, betray, or resist you, but flesh and blood are not your opponents. The true battle is in the unseen. Principalities, powers, spiritual forces of darkness, they are the ones that seek to resist the light. This awareness protects you from wasting energy fighting the wrong battles. Instead of retaliating against people, you rise in prayer. You declare truth. You wield the word. As a warrior of light, you will face counterattacks. The enemy may whisper lies into your mind, trying to stir fear or doubt. He may stir circumstances around you to make you feel surrounded. He may even attempt to use those closest to you to discourage you, but none of these tactics can undo the armor you wear. Unless you lay it down, stand firm. Do not give him your agreement. Your strength is not in avoiding battles, but in standing unshaken within them. Remember also, balance requires rest. Even warriors must lay down their swords at times to regain strength. Burnout is a trap of the enemy, luring you to run so hard that your flame dims. Guard your time with the Father. Protect your quiet moments of prayer and worship. It is in His presence that your armor is polished, your spirit renewed, your vision sharpened. A warrior who neglects rest becomes an easy target. Chosen one. Humility will be your safeguard. Miracles and authority can tempt the heart to pride, but humility anchors you in truth. Always remember, the oil flows from Him, not from you. The power is His. The victory is His. The glory is His. You are a vessel, honored but dependent. When you walk in humility, no weapon formed against you can prosper, because you leave no foothold for pride to weaken you. Discipline is another mark of a true warrior. Your words carry weight, so you must choose them carefully. Your actions influence others, so you must live with intention. Your spirit is sensitive to atmospheres, so you must guard what you allow into your heart and mind. Discipline does not restrict you. It empowers you to carry light without compromise. Chosen one. Picture yourself standing on a hill, sword in hand, light blazing from your armor. Darkness gathers below, hoping to intimidate you. Yet you do not tremble. You know who called you, who anointed you, who crowned you. You fight not for victory, but from victory. The battle is not to prove your worth, it is to demonstrate His power. Do not despise the resistance you face. It is evidence of your significance. The enemy does not waste energy on those who pose no threat. The very fact that you feel opposition is proof that you are advancing, that your light is piercing, that your authority is real. So stand, warrior of light. Wear your armor daily. Wield your sword with wisdom. Walk in humility. Move in discipline. Rest in His presence. Balance your authority with tenderness, your strength with compassion, your boldness with humility, for you are not just chosen to shine, you are chosen to fight, to withstand, to overcome. The light within you terrifies the darkness around you, and though the war may rage, you are already marked as victorious. Chosen one. Every warrior crowned and anointed eventually receives the call to lead. You have endured not only for your own sake, but for the sake of others still in their trials. The time has come for you to rise, not simply as one who has survived, but as one who builds, who gathers, who shepherds. You are being called to lead the remnant, the faithful few who will not bow to darkness. This call is not about position or title. It is about responsibility. The remnant is like scattered embers, small, fragile, easily overlooked. But when brought together, they become a roaring fire. You, chosen one, are called to gather the embers, to breathe upon them, to guard them, to fan them into flame. Alone, each may flicker. Together, they will light the world. The Apostle Peter reminds us in his letter, 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9, you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, called out of darkness into His wonderful light. This verse is not just a description, it is a mission. The chosen are not called to hide, but to declare, not called to scatter, but to unite, not called to blend in, but to stand apart. And now you must take your place among them, not only as a voice, but as a leader. Leading the remnant requires compassion. Many are wounded, carrying scars from their own battles. Some are weary, tempted to give up. Some are still bound, longing for freedom, but unsure how to find it. You must walk with patience, guiding gently, speaking life, reminding them that their crown, too, awaits if they endure. You are not above them, you are among them. Leadership in the kingdom is not domination, but service. chosen one. Think of this community as a table. At this table, no one sits alone. At this table, there is bread for the hungry, water for the thirsty, oil for the weary. Each time you gather, share, or pour into others, you are adding to the table. And when you invite someone else to sit with you by sharing these words, by encouraging them to subscribe, by sowing a seed to keep the table full, you are ensuring that no one is left unfed. Like, share, subscribe. These are not empty clicks. They are invitations to the table. Each action is like opening another chair, pouring another cup, laying another plate. And when you donate, when you sow, it is like placing fresh bread on the table so that more can be fed. You are not giving to a voice alone. You are feeding the family of the chosen. Beloved, do not underestimate the power of your participation. A single ember cannot warm a house. But when embers come together, the coldest night becomes bearable. Your comment, your engagement, your presence, it is fuel for the fire. When you leave your words below, you are not just typing, you are testifying. You are adding your voice to the chorus of the remnant. So I urge you, do not remain silent. Like, because your agreement matters. Share, because someone else is searching in the dark for this light. Subscribe, because you are choosing to stay close to the fire. Donate, because the fire needs wood to burn. And your generosity ensures that this light reaches further than we can see. And in the comments, speak, add your words, your amen, your declaration, because they strengthen not only you, but the entire community. Chosen one, the remnant is rising. You are not alone anymore. Across nations, across languages, across generations, others are awakening, and together you form a holy nation not marked by borders, but by fire. You are priests and kings, not because of status, but because of calling. Your crown is real. Your oil is flowing. Your authority is recognized. And now, your community is forming. Guard this community. Treasure it. Build it. For in the days ahead, when storms intensify, the remnant will need one another. And you, crowned and chosen, will be one of those who help lead, guide, and sustain. You are not merely a recipient, you are a builder of this holy nation. Chosen one. Hear it clearly. You are not just part of a movement, you are part of a family. And in this family, every voice matters. Every ember counts. Every act of support fuels the fire. Together, the remnant will rise, unshakable, unstoppable, radiant with light, and the world will know that God has a people chosen for such a time as this. Chosen one. The crown upon your head and the oil upon your life are not only signs of authority and restoration, they are marks of identity. You are not just a warrior, not only a light bearer, but a member of a royal priesthood. This means your life carries a dual calling, to reign with authority and to minister with intimacy. You are both king and priest, both ruler and worshipper, both leader and intercessor. It was proclaimed in the Revelation of John, chapter 1, verse 6. He made us a kingdom and priests to serve God. To him be glory and power forever. Amen. Chosen one, do you see it? You are not made merely to exist, you are made to be a kingdom, not just an individual, but a part of something greater. And within that kingdom, you are both royalty and priesthood. Royalty means you walk with authority, stewarding resources, making decisions, and exercising dominion. Priesthood means you walk with intimacy, drawing near to the Father, interceding for others, and carrying His presence into the world. This balance is sacred. Kingship without priesthood becomes prideful power. Priesthood without kingship becomes powerless devotion. But together, they form a life that both rules and serves, both governs and worships. This is the life you are stepping into, the life of a royal priesthood. As royalty, you no longer live as a beggar. You do not approach life from scarcity, fear, or insecurity. You know who your Father is, and you walk with the assurance that all of heaven's resources back you. Royalty means you carry dignity in how you see yourself and how you treat others. You do not bow to shame, nor do you lord over others. You walk in quiet confidence, knowing your seat is at the table of kings. As priesthood, you also carry a mantle of service. You draw near to God, not only for yourself but for others. You lift the burdens of those who cannot yet lift their own. You intercede for families, for nations, for the broken. You offer yourself daily as a living sacrifice, not in ritual, but in love. Your prayers are not empty words, they are incense rising before the throne, shifting atmospheres, inviting heaven to invade earth. Chosen one. Being royal priesthood also means you are a bridge. You stand between heaven and earth, carrying the authority of kings and the compassion of priests. When people encounter you, they should taste both the firmness of truth and the gentleness of mercy. This is not a role to perform. It is an identity to embody. The Spirit has already marked you for it. Think of David, both king and worshipper, who ruled with justice, yet danced with abandon before the Lord. Think of Esther, clothed in royal garments, yet risking her life to intercede for her people. Think of Jesus himself, the King of Kings and the great High Priest, who reigns in glory, yet kneels to wash feet. These are not contradictions, they are completeness. And you, chosen one, are called to walk in the same fullness. This dual calling will shape every part of your life. In your work, you will carry the wisdom of royalty, making decisions with authority and clarity. In your worship, you will carry the heart of priesthood, drawing near with reverence and intimacy. In your relationships, you will blend both, leading with strength, yet serving with humility. Beloved, this identity also demands holiness. Royal garments cannot be stained by compromise, and priestly hands cannot be defiled by corruption. You are set apart, not for superiority, but for service. This means guarding your heart, watching your steps, and living with integrity. The world is watching, and heaven is watching. Your life is no longer your own. It is a reflection of the one you serve. Chosen one. Embrace this identity fully. Do not shrink from your crown, and do not neglect your priestly robe. You are both. You are chosen to reign and chosen to minister. You are a royal priesthood, a holy vessel, a bridge between heaven's glory and earth's need. Walk in it boldly, For the world is desperate to see what it looks like when someone truly lives as both king and priest. Chosen one. The path has led you here, not to an ending, but to a horizon that stretches into eternity. You have walked through valleys, crossed rivers, endured fire, and stood in storms. You have tasted both hunger and fullness, sorrow and joy, despair and hope. Every chapter has shaped you. Every battle has prepared you. Every moment has refined you. And now, the final word spoken over your journey is glory, eternal glory that does not fade. The Apostle Peter spoke of this eternal promise in his first letter, chapter 5, verse 4, "And when the chief shepherd appears, you will receive the crown of glory that will never fade away." Oh, chosen one. Let those words echo in your spirit. Never fade away. Every crown of man eventually tarnishes. Every achievement on earth is forgotten in time. Even monuments crumble. Even names written in history books are erased. But the crown of glory is eternal. It cannot rust. It cannot break. It cannot be stolen. It shines with the brilliance of heaven itself, reserved only for those who endure, for those who remain faithful, for those who love the appearing of the chief shepherd. This crown is not ornamental, it is identity. It is the Father declaring before all creation, "This one belongs to me. This one has overcome. This one carries eternal light." You are not merely rewarded, you are revealed. You are shown as who you truly are, a chosen one crowned in glory. Think of it, every tear you shed, every sacrifice you made, every time you chose obedience when rebellion seemed easier, all of it is woven into that crown. Each jewel represents a trial endured, each glimmer a victory won. You will wear not just a symbol, but the story of your journey, transformed into eternal honor. Chosen one. This is why your struggles mattered. The world may not have understood. Those around you may not have noticed. But heaven never forgot. Each test was shaping something eternal. You may have felt like you were losing, but you were gaining weight in glory. The scales of eternity measure differently than the scales of men. What looks small here is great there. What seems temporary here is eternal there. The eternal crown also speaks of permanence. On earth, seasons change, and blessings can shift. But in heaven, permanence reigns. You will not need to fear losing what you gained. You will not need to hold tightly as if it might slip away. The crown of glory is secured by the hand of the chief shepherd himself. No thief, no enemy, no circumstance can take it from you. Chosen one. Imagine that moment, the chief shepherd, radiant and glorious, placing the crown upon your head, angels rejoicing, heaven echoing with praise, creation witnessing the reward of the faithful. This is not fantasy. It is promised. It is written. It is sealed. And because it is sealed, it is certain. But until that day, you walk with the knowledge that the crown is already yours in spirit. You live with dignity, not because of earthly status, but because you know what awaits. You endure hardship differently, because you know it cannot erase what is coming. You carry yourself with quiet strength, because you understand your story does not end in ashes but in radiance. Chosen one, let this truth steady you. When battles feel unending, remember the crown. When the world mocks or misunderstands, Remember the crown. When fear whispers and doubt shouts, remember the crown. Your end is not despair, it is glory. Your destination is not emptiness, it is fullness. Your identity is not fragile, it is eternal. This crown is also a testimony. It declares to all that faith is worth it. Obedience is worth it. Endurance is worth it. When others see your life, they will understand. The path of the chosen may be costly, but its reward is beyond compare. And in that way, your crown becomes not only your reward, but your witness. Chosen one, breathe this in, you are eternal. The world will pass away, but you will remain. The heavens and the earth will be renewed, but you will stand, crowned and radiant. This is the mystery of grace, that one so fragile, so tested, so human, could be clothed in everlasting glory. Yet it is truth, and it is your destiny. So walk now with your eyes lifted. Carry your crown in your spirit, even before it rests on your head. Let its weight remind you of your worth. Let its brilliance remind you of your calling. Let its permanence remind you of your future. For truly, you are not just surviving, you are crowned for eternity. Chosen one, the chief shepherd himself awaits, and his hand is steady. The crown of glory is ready. And when that moment comes, when time melts into eternity, you will stand as who you always were, chosen, faithful, crowned forever. Chosen one, as this journey draws to a close, let your spirit pause and take in the weight of every word you have received. You have been reminded of who you are, tested, refined, crowned, and destined for eternal glory. The battles you endured were never wasted. They were shaping you into one who carries both fire and oil. The crown upon your head is not fleeting. It is eternal, sealed by the chief shepherd himself. But remember, light is never meant to be hidden. Just as a lamp is placed on a stand so that it gives light to all in the house. What you have received here is not only for you, it is for those around you, those still wandering in shadow, those who have forgotten their worth. You are a living testimony, and your words, your actions, your presence will carry the fragrance of heaven into their lives. This is why connection matters. When you like this message, you are saying, I receive this truth. When you share, you are placing the lamp higher so its glow reaches further. When you subscribe, you are choosing to remain near the fire, to walk with this community of chosen ones as the journey continues. And when you donate, when you sow into this space, you are pouring oil into the lamp, ensuring that its flame does not dim, that it can keep burning brightly for you and for countless others still waiting for light. So I invite you, engage fully, like, share, subscribe, and if led, sow a seed. Let your comment below be more than words. Let it be your amen, your declaration that you are chosen and that you walk in glory. The crown is yours. Chosen one, wear it boldly, live it fully, and let your light shine.